Hey guys, I want to come on here real quick to tell you guys what something that came to mind. I didn't want to wait to do this video because if I waited to do this video, I would have forgotten about it, or it would have been the message would have been diluted. But one thing that came to mind was some. It was relating to truth, and when you speak your truth, the intention is not to attack anybody or not to um, disempower anyone because they made you feel bad or because you think that you're doing something good. The purpose of speaking truth is to actually heal someone and to enlighten them. You cannot take one away from the other, because if you only speak your truth to enlighten people, which is to inform people, you can end up doing some damage and may end up defeating the purpose of you speaking that truth, which is to actually raise the vibration or raise the energy of the person that you're talking to, or to whatever. And if you speak your truth just to heal people, you could be superficial. So that means you could say something that is, you can technically feed someone's ego, which in all is only telling them basically what they already know, and it will most likely lead to a negative effect of them being either overconfident or neglecting or denying an aspect of them that they need to heal. So when you put two and two together, when you put one and one together, um, alignment and healing, that is the healthy form of speaking your truth, or of speaking the truth in general. Because when you're speaking your truth, or when you're living your truth, you're your own individual expression. So when you express yourself in the way that you know is to your best of core values, to your best of morals, what you're doing is you're allowing room for other people to see where their place is in the world. Because if you act in a certain way, if you put a mask on and you're not fully living in your truth, or you're not living in your truth at all, then other people are gonna think that you took their place, or that you seem to have found your place in the world and they're doing something wrong. That's why a lot of people who have big platforms, who have a big following, who don't really live in their truth, they have so much pressure on them because a lot of people look up to them. But then when they look at themselves in the mirrors, or when they just contemplate to themselves, they're so stressed out. So the whole purpose of living in the truth is to avoid that unnecessary pain. And the purpose of speaking the truth, or speaking your truth, is to avoid the pain of future consequences, the pain of the rejection, not rejection, the pain of over superficial relationships. That's how to say it really. But that's what I got. That's what I got in my mind. That's what came to mind. Um, I just wanted to share that message with you, and basically speak your truth. Because if you don't speak your truth, no one will. Because only you know your truth, and people can guess. People can figure it out. I should say discern in a way, but they will never really fully know. They can only guess, and when they guess, they're still you still have to be careful on how you're putting your message out there as well, because everybody's perspective is so different, and even people in the spiritual community, they still have their egotistical viewpoints, and they still disempower people. Some still disempower people, thinking that they're doing the right thing. So it's an unconscious pattern, and that's all. Oh, and that's also what karma is for as well. Karma is not to be looked at as something negative. It's not to be looked at as something that is um like as a punishment. It is not a judgment. It is a not a system. It is designed. Karma is designed just to show us what we're doing to other people and or other living beings or other or even to ourselves on a subconscious level. It brings it out and it brings it into the outer reality to show us, or into the inner reality to show us how we treat other people outside of ourselves, or how we treat ourselves internally. So when we're treating ourselves negatively internally, we attract people who treat us negatively internally. When we treat people bad out and externally, we start to experience symptoms internally. Sometimes it could be both. When you treat people positively, you get the same internally. When you treat yourself positively, you get the same externally. And sometimes you attract both, but it is a but that just means you're doing something not wrong, because wrong and right is a matter of perspective. It is just based on energy and how you feel. If you feel bad, then meditate on, well, reflect and meditate, the same thing. Sit down and reflect on, how did I make this person feel? And if you don't know exactly what you did to make, or exactly what you did, or who you did it to, whatever action you did, then just sit down, and eventually some thought is going to come to your mind, and it's going to lead to another thought, or it's going to lead to a word or something, an image, and it will bring you back to that action or that moment or that little section in time where you did that action, or where you thought a thought that attracted that thing into your reality, or a habit or kind of pattern that brought it into fruition. Because sometimes it's cycles, sometimes it's family patterns, and excuse me, there's so many things that are going on in your mind, in your subconscious, in your psyche, that you don't know about. But that is just one thing with karma, the truth. um I'm just feeling called to I'm feeling called to make this a long video. I just feel like talking. um Other thing is, yeah, basically karma and truth. Just speak your truth, as long as you're enlightening people and you're healing people in the process. And to be more specific, let me give you an example. An example would be like, if someone is eating unhealthy, or if someone is okay, if someone is bothering you, let's say they're not you're living with somebody and you have an agreement, or kind of have expectations in a way. One person is cooking, other person washes the dishes. Maybe they don't wash the dishes in a certain way, and let's say they're your family member, cousin, brother, sister, whatever. Instead of you going and telling them that they don't know how to clean and insulting them, you should tell them that this is how, let me show you how to do it, and this is how I want it. And if you can't do it, then we should reverse roles. That's a more upfront way, and a more appropriate way, and a more mature way of dealing with it, than to insult the person, or to simply ignore it, or simply say, you know what, I think you're a better cook, let's do this. No, it's better to be upfront and to speak why you want this thing to be done, or why you feel a certain way, than to kind of just shy by it, um or to ignore it. And I'm working on this as well, but I'm getting better at it. It's just that I still have moments in where I would not necessarily lie, but you could say lie, depends on your perspective, but dilute the truth, or stretch the truth, or um or you could say I sometimes lie too. But everybody, to some extent, no, I shouldn't say everybody, because I don't know everybody, but a lot of people, everybody who I've met in my life, have to some extent lied, or have some to some extent lied, whether they faked their true essence, whether they said something that was not true, or whether they hid something that they know was wrong, or that they know or that they know they should have done something about. And the thing is, with everybody living in their truth, and with everybody knowing, being educated on what karma really is, it is not about fear. You don't have to change someone's perspective in order to heal them, or in order to heal yourself, or in order to make the world a better place. I can see somebody I can see somebody how can I say this? Speaking truth. I'm stuck on words. How ironic. But you could see someone mistreating somebody on the street. You can stand there and watch and say, I had a discussion. I had a discussion with somebody, and they were basically saying that, if someone was fighting, like in outside in public, that you should just mind your business and like let it happen, just let it pass by, whatever. And I said to myself, me personally, I wouldn't do nothing. I would either get involved, but it all depends on the situation. But I wouldn't do nothing. I would either get involved physically. I would either stand there, pull out my phone, and call the police, or whoever is nearby, I would call them, like obviously an authority, a teacher, or whatever, and I would call them. But I would do something, because I know that if I just let that happen, I don't know who's in that circumstance. It could be someone who's totally innocent, who has not done anything wrong, who's getting bullied. It could be someone who has done something wrong. But at the same time, an eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. If you do something to cause a positive effect, that altogether is actually healing people. And the whole thing is that hurt people hurt people. You're not gonna, if you're really healed, if you're really a good person, if you really view yourself as a good person, I should say, it all depends on perspective. Everybody, to me, has good morals, and everybody has good intent, or had good intent in some time, because some people really do go to the other side. Now, if you are really a good person as you view yourself, you would do something, even if it's just show some sort of compassion, or even if you let it happen and you leave the situation, you still have some sort of guilty conscience. Not It's not necessarily the best thing to have, but it shows that you still have humanity, and you're not just like there. Even even at the fact, like, if you don't have a guilty conscience, and you're guilty because of that, which sounds weird, but sometimes it happens. That still means that you have humanity. So everything playing out right now in the world is just a manifestation of the collective consciousness of narcissism. Technically, everything with the virus, with the protests, with all the situations of division that's causing divisions, and basically causing people to hate each other, or to separate from each other, or to become power hungry, or want to be right all the time, or not thinking of others. All that is just a manifestation of technically narcissism, because narcissists usually narcissists gaslight, but they also separate from people. They also have a unhealthy sense of individuality, which meaning that anybody who they see outside of their reality, outside of themselves, that aren't them, or aren't acting in accordance to what they believe in, they believe is wrong, and they believe that shouldn't be in this world, or they shouldn't be in their space, in their reality. So what they do is they cause a they they first try to attempt your psyche. They get to your heart, or they get to your solar plexus, and they try to manipulate you. They try to control. They have all sorts of tactics. Um, but the whole purpose is that they want to feel important. They want to feel like they have a some sort of power, some sort of control in their lives, because it all stems from childhood as well. So everything to do with, from a lack of compassion, a lack of empowerment, a lack of a lack of bliss, joy, anything really comes from childhood and what you really wanted to experience in this lifetime as well. So ultimately, you can't blame anybody, and not even yourself. Even though you do have the power, blame is not the true essence of, or should I say, shame is not the true essence of who you are, because you know that you're powerful. You know that you have choice, and all choices contain power. You have the choice to walk out of your bed and do something. You have the choice to stay in your bed. You have the choice to get outside, and all those choices affect those around you. So therefore, you matter, your voice matters, your individuality matters. So, but the thing is, people forgot that, and they forgot about other people, and that's why we are currently separated, or we are currently brainwashed, or both, and probably more. But a lot of people are, and everybody is awakened to some extent, as I believe in, because if you weren't, then you wouldn't have you wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Because everybody has an essence. That's the thing about what you came here for. Everybody, whether they believe in better eating habits, whether they believe in affirmations, whether they believe in planting, painting, all those are all those contain high vibrational aspects of them, and everybody has a viewpoint on what they want to do in life, what they came here to do, and what they want to do, and what brought them joy, or what brings them joy. And once you find that, you're doing your part. You're already good enough. Once you're doing that, you're already good enough. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, just because you're doing this, you should be doing something else, or you should be doing more. If you know in your heart that you are in any way, shape, or form, even some people have not come to experience this, some people have not come to this reality, or this 3D dimension, to really help people or to really heal people. But everybody's different. But that's my message, guys. All right, peace.